The story you provided is a classic quiet success reveal narrative where the overlooked sibling dramatically discloses their hidden power and ownership over the very things the family boasts about. Here's a rewritten version of roughly the same length, preserving the core plot, emotional beats, tension buildup, family dynamics, and the satisfying mic drop moment, while refreshing the phrasing, flow, and some details for a natural, engaging read. I nearly skipped it. My brother's engagement party was at one of those over-the-top venues meant to scream status. Crystal chandeliers, endless champagne flutes stacked in perfect towers, guests in tailored suits and designer dresses like they were walking a red carpet for their own egos. I lingered in front of the mirror far too long, fussing with a plain outfit I knew would draw snide remarks. I wasn't there for the spotlight. I just wanted to offer my congratulations, stay low-key, and slip out early. That was my first error. The instant I stepped inside, the energy shifted. Side glances, hushed murmurs. My parents gave me the barest nod before pivoting back to more impressive guests. My brother hardly glanced my way, too busy basking in compliments about his upwardly mobile match. Then the barbs began. Someone asked what I'd been up to lately. Before I could open my mouth, my mother chuckled and waved it off. "Oh, still finding his path. You know how it is." A cousin jumped in with a grin. Some are born go-getters. Others are fine coasting on average. My brother's fiancé offered a tight, uncertain smile, unsure where to land. I kept my face blank. I'd long ago learned that any reaction just fueled the fire. But my brother kept going. During his toast, glass held aloft like a trophy. He quipped about how fortunate he was to work under real visionaries at a proper firm, unlike me, apparently drifting from one vague idea to the next. The laughter rang out, louder than it needed to be. Then came the killer line that hushed the table for a beat. "At least now," he said, smirking right at me, "I'll never have to worry about ending up like certain people in this family." In that pause, it hit me. They weren't just poking fun. They were savoring it, relishing the chance to shove me back into the failure slot they'd carved out years ago. I took a measured sip, hands steady, pulse even. What they didn't realize, what no one at that table grasped, was that every single person laughing owed their job, their paycheck, their bragging rights to me. Directly or through layers, the company they idolized, the promotions they flaunted, the security they lorded over me. It all circled back to the business I'd founded and quietly owned. I hadn't come to drop bombshells. I genuinely hadn't planned to say a word. But as my brother lowered his glass with that smug, victorious grin, clarity washed over me. Silence now would mean silence forever. I was finished allowing them to script my identity. The chuckles continued, my brother preening under the attention like it validated his entire existence. I'd watched this version of him my whole life, only secure when stepping on someone else. My parents leaned in, beaming as if every jab was fair game. I let the moment stretch, let them feel safe in their superiority. Then I rose. The chair's scrape cut through the noise like a signal. Heads turned, chatter faded. "I'd like to say something brief," I said, voice calm and even. No drama, just enough to unsettle them. I'm genuinely thrilled for my brother. An engagement is huge. Stability, progress, stepping up. We've heard a lot about those tonight. A few uneasy titters. But there's one thing I think everyone here deserves to understand. I continued, shifting so the whole table, and especially the employees, could see me clearly. The company you've all been praising, the one covering the bills, funding the trips, enabling the lifestyles everyone's so proud of, it's mine. The room froze. Absolute pin-drop silence. My mother's face went ashen. My father blinked like the words were in a foreign tongue. My brother barked a single, brittle laugh. "That's not even funny." "It's not a joke," I replied quietly. I didn't hurry. I didn't shout. I let the facts land. "I started it 10 years ago," I said. "I stayed invisible on purpose. I wanted the work to prove itself, without family drama tainting what I'd built with care." A cousin whispered my name. A glass clinked awkwardly. You just work there," my brother managed, voice cracking. "You don't own anything." I do work there, I agreed, because real owners know every detail: payroll, deals, growth, even the team you lead. My father half rose, then sank back, hands trembling. My mother stammered, "You've let us believe—" "I let you believe what you wanted," I said softly, "because nothing I ever did was enough anyway. So I stopped trying to prove it." My brother's expression twisted from confusion to dawning dread. "All this time," he said, "you could have—" "I could have corrected you any time," I cut in, "but I needed to see how you'd treat me when you assumed I had nothing left to give." No laughter now, just stunned faces. "I didn't come to ruin anyone's night," I added, "but mocking someone without knowing the full picture is risky, especially when your whole world rests on their choices." I reached for my coat. "Enjoy the celebration, and congratulations, truly." As I headed for the door, the room remained paralyzed. Not from yelling or threats, but from one composed truth that shattered the hierarchy they'd clung to for years. Heels echoing on the marble, every gaze tracked me. My parents sat rigid, their arrogance crumbling into exposed vulnerability. My brother's pallor spoke volumes. Shock, betrayal, the sudden collapse of his self-made pedestal. For years, he'd paraded his success, his title, his rise. Every rung he'd climbed had been on the ladder I'd quietly constructed. I paused at the threshold, letting the weight settle. "For so long, you dismissed me, compared me, labeled me less. You never noticed what I was creating in the background. While you joked, I built. Tonight, you're facing what you refused to see." My parents opened their mouths, excuses, apologies, anything. But I shook my head. "Words can't erase years of this. Your views never defined me then, and they don't now." The whispers among guests grew, some stunned, some quietly impressed by the understated authority. My brother's jaw clenched, pride fracturing. My parents' smugness had evaporated, replaced by raw, uncomfortable humility. The irony hung thick. The ones who'd belittled me were now living in the reality I'd shaped, reliant on my unseen decisions and quiet strength. I offered a small, private smile. Not spiteful, just certain. The very underestimation they'd weaponized had become my strongest shield. I didn't need volume or vengeance. The plain truth had been enough. If you enjoyed this rewrite, feel free to let me know. I can tweak it further.